You and me to talk about our 2024 online program called Apothecary. It is time to register. And I'm going to be teaching a little bit tonight, kind of like a preview class. The music might be a little bit loud. Jasmine's kind of here doing a one-woman show behind the scenes because our team is on vacation. But I just want to welcome you in and tell you that we're so happy you're here. So whether you're joining on Instagram, which if you are, just stay right where you are, hang out with us. I've got giveaways tonight. We're giving away a 1-month membership to the Apothecary program. Are we live on Facebook and YouTube too? Yes. Okay. So welcome in everybody who's live with us on Facebook and YouTube too as well. We're really happy that you're here. I'm so glad you're here. And yes, one person tonight is going to win a month of membership in the Apothecary program. What does that mean if you've already registered? It means we're going to refund you for January. So, and then I've got prizes for people live tonight, some fun things. I'm blending perfume because we're working with essential oils and herbs and all kinds of magic in Apothecary. And then this basket, which you saw because Karen posted it on our event page. This basket full of stones and herbs and oils is an enter to win if you register for Apothecary before 10 a.m. tomorrow. I think, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you for being there, Karen. I think it's 10 a.m. tomorrow. As long as you're registered and you comment, and I think the word is registered, on the post, we're going to confirm your registration, and then somebody's going to win this basket. I think it's worth $500 worth of crystals and a little grinder for your herbs and a Palo Santo and incense burner and a generator and a sphere and candles and a senna salt cellar and copal incense sticks and all the things. So we've got a lot of prizes and a lot of fun for you ahead tonight. How many of you are already registered for Apothecary? A lot of you are already registered. So like I said, tonight, being here, one of you is going to get your first month of tuition reimbursed to you if you're already registered, or if you're new, you're going to get gifted a registration. So I'm so excited that you've joined. And if you're like, what the hell is Apothecary? That's what I'm here to tell you and get you excited about. Okay, can we start at the beginning? Is it okay to start at the beginning? It's already burning some sage. I've got some tea. It's a little early for anything harder where I am, but maybe it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So if you've got some wine or some whatever you have working for you, this is actually a Christmas tea blend with, it's a black Assam tea with some cloves, which are really good for abundance and manifestation, and cinnamon, which is also good for manifestation, but also really good for strengthening your immune system, and orange peel. I'm like, what else is in here? Oh yeah, orange peel. Which, interestingly enough, orange is also good for abundance, but it's good for healing. And this time of year, the orange peel is sweet. So there's this like, it's not bitter, it's really this sweet medicine right now, which I love so much. So get your tea. Okay, here's what I want to tell you about Apothecary. I want to kind of back up and start at the beginning. And I've got my tools here in my little altar that I set up. Because my little ofrenda is from Mexico, and it's one of my favorite things. And this class was inspired by my travel to Mexico. I went to Mexico, just me and the kids, for my 50th birthday this year, as a solo trip, just the 3 of us, and it was really beautiful. One of my wishes is that my children travel and that they become multilingual. I love speaking other languages other than English, and my kids have been studying Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish. I read and write. As most of you know, I wrote a master's thesis in Spanish. So it is my second language, and I love Spanish. And so when we went to Mexico, it was kind of like, I told them, I'm like, stop speaking English. Everyone who was with us, I told them, like, don't speak English to my kids. Make them learn it. Anyway, when I went to Mexico, we went to northern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, which is a beautiful Mayan jungle. And what's really cool, I tried to learn a little Maya while I was there. I was challenging myself. Forget it. Maya is really difficult. It does not sound at all like Spanish. I tried and I was like, whoa, I'm not good at this at all. But what's beautiful is in the jungle, in the Yucatan, a lot of people don't speak Spanish. They speak Maya. And Maya means no pain. And do you know why Maya means no pain? Because they work with the medicine of the earth. So the Apothecary program was born. I was already thinking I wanted to do a program in 2024 where I finally brought together my love of plants, flowers, resins, herbs, essential oils, and crystals. In one place at one time, because I've been studying all this since I was 14 and a half, 15 years old. So, and I just turned 50 in August. So 35 years I've been studying all of these things, right? Now they don't speak Spanish, they speak Maya. And so it's here. Have you ever gone, raise your hand or give me a little emoji or, you know, do a little heart if you've ever gone into a metaphysical shop or maybe it's an apothecary that you went into, or maybe it's a botanica that you went into, and there were blends and herbs and things, jars that were labeled and some that weren't labeled, and there were dried herbs hanging from the ceilings, and there were crystals in jars and bins, and it made your heart beat faster, right? You were like, oh, I'm in some special place, right? And there was someone there who was blending or mixing, and they knew the medicine, and you could go to them and go, oh, you know, I've been having pain in my shoulder, or oh, my heart's broken, or oh, whatever it is, right? Like I'm grieving, and you were like, you could feel your heart going like this because you just knew you were in the presence of magic. Or it may have been a different experience for you. That's me. I'm lucky enough. I grew up in the 80s and 90s where there were still places like that you could go. And the person behind the counter or the wizard behind the magic, you knew that they were magic, right? We grew up watching The Craft. Remember the store in The Craft where they went in, right? And she had all of her magics and everything was drawing from the ceiling. San Francisco's got shops like this. My favorite, the Sword and the Rose in San Francisco, super old school for me. That was my favorite haunt when I lived in the Bay Area. There are some here in Southern California too, not as many as there used to be because quite a few of them have gone with their owners. We're gonna make that together. This year, you're gonna make that, and I'm gonna help you do it. I'm giving you the magic bottles, all the tools, all the wisdom, all the crystals, all the herbs, all the resins, all the flowers, all the oils, and you are going to make yourself what used to make your heart beat fast when you were younger, or maybe makes your heart beat fast now, okay? So you're going to become the apothecary. Apothecary comes from the Greek word apothekario, and it's actually where we, what it means is where we store our wisdom, where we store our medicine. Did you know that? It literally means where we hold the medicine. And I was telling someone tonight, actually, someone I'm close to, that and I say this, I'm not saying this to brag, because the same is true for you and the same is true for you. My magic, nobody can take it from me. Nobody can take it because it's in me, right? Like everything I have, all my physical possessions, like they're beautiful and they're important, but like my knowledge, my wisdom, it goes with me. It transfers with me. And so that's why, first of all, that's what makes me excited about bringing this course to you, is that I am going to literally open my books to you. And I'm not only am I going to teach you how to make the most incredible incense and essential oil blends and how to work with crystals in new ways, and we're bringing you archetypes every month, so we're going to bring you all kinds of different, like we're talking about even Lilith in January, who I've never talked about before. I'm teaching you about the Melissae this year, who are the bee priestesses. I'm teaching you about the Miraphora, who were the priestesses who brought you the myrrh resin, which was one of the gifts that the Magi brought to Christ when he was born. We're going all into that esoteric history. But the magic is in you. this entire program is you. And whatever you don't know, we're going to fill in the blanks this year. And by the end of the year, you are going to have a book of wisdom. So when I went to the jungle, I met with a shaman, and I ended up wandering around, okay? And I got lost a little bit, and I ended up in this, I'm going to try to describe it to you. Make sure, Karen and team, that you're posting the audio guided visualization that I did too. I'm sure you guys are, but I did a little audio for you to try to bring you into the jungle and tell you about the experience I had, because I'll never forget it. So because it was just me and the kids had slept in and I was all by myself, I got lost. And I ended up in this outdoor, because it was in the jungle, but this covered botanica, okay? And imagine behind me, they had wood branches that they had drilled holes into, and there were herbs growing out of the top and roots growing out of the bottom, and they were growing in the air because there's so much moisture in the air they didn't need to be watered. And so I walked through this outdoor botanica, okay? Go with me on this journey just for a minute. Imagine it. So I'm lost. I don't know where I am. There's copal burning. All I can smell is the copal. And so I'm kind of following my senses, and I end up in this outdoor indoor botanica. And I look over, and there are shelves, and there are bottles just like this, like these, this is what comes with your tools this month, these glass bottles, and all the labels are handwritten, and they're all the ink has leaked because of the rain. So it would say Romero, which is rosemary in Spanish, but the R was like, had bled, and the O had bled. And so all of the lettering, this someone's handwriting had bled down. And I kept winding my way through this apothecario, through this apothecary. And I finally got to this center of it all, and there was a table, okay? About almost not, it was eye level for me, kind of. I'm short though, so imagine it was like probably 4.5 feet. And there was a book, and it was open like this, and it had a piece of leather, just like you have, down the center, and it was open like this. And again, it was out in the middle of the jungle. All the ink had bled, okay? So there was a wheel of the year, there was the Hunabku, everything was a hybrid of Spanish and English, and as I turned the pages, and then some people had written in the pages, so some people had gotten lost like me and written, Janet was here or whatever. So I'm turning the pages, and I'm looking at this thing, and it's all rinsed by the water of the jungle. And I didn't want to touch it. I was barely trying to turn the pages, and then finally I stopped because it was such a holy moment. I have a bathing suit on because you can't wear much clothing in the jungle, and my makeup is already washed off my face, and my hair is wet, and I'm touching this, and so I stop. And finally, I encounter someone. Okay, so I meet someone on the path because I'm going across these bridges. And in Spanish, I said, the book that's back there. And the person nodded yes. And I said, do you know which book I'm talking about? And the person said, yes, I think so. And I said, who wrote that book? Who wrote that? And the person said, nobody knows. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, we don't know who wrote it. It's not signed. No está firmado. And I just was like, so I went back. I traced I go back, and I'm looking at the book again, and I'm like, no one knows. Now, what we're going to try to do is recreate. You're going to make your own, okay? It was incredible to go back and realize no one signed this book. People are writing on it. I didn't write anything. I couldn't have written on it. But I'm turning the pages, and I'm seeing the Hunabku, which is this symbol right here, which is the cosmic butterfly. Of course, it's a portal. And I was like, no one... And I said, so I asked someone else again. And then I asked someone else. I asked like 3 or 4 people, and everybody was like, nobody knows who wrote that book. And so when I went back, so then I met with a shaman during that same trip, and I said, I think it's time for me to document my wisdom. And he said, I think it's time for you to show your students how to document their wisdom. I think you're being told to document your wisdom, but you are always told to do things because it's what your students need to do. And all of a sudden, it was like the whole thing became clear. Like, yes, I was meant to find this book. Nobody knows who wrote the book. And the whole book was full. You know, I turned to one page just randomly, and it said eucalyptus, and then there was a drawing of a eucalyptus plant, and the author had crushed the eucalyptus leaves and scattered them on the page, and so there was eucalyptus stuck in the binding of the book, and then it had rained on the page, right? So it was all almost glued, but there wasn't glue. You know what I mean? I didn't want to touch it, but I was trying not to disturb it. It was almost like finding a burial site. I just was so immensely engrossed in this book. So this book right now is empty. It's a replica of what I saw. It had these are all handmade, by the way. The paper is handmade. This is the Sage Goddess version, okay? And the pages are hand glued into the Book of Wisdom. If you sign up for the whole year of Apothecary, which is $1,000, and I know that's a commitment, but it gets you the whole 12 months of the program. You save, which is $100 a month. You save 2 months of tuition, and you get the book for free. That's only until New Year's Eve. But if you really want to have this whole experience, which I'm going to explain to you now, you get this for free. It's your Book of Wisdom. If we have some left over, we will sell the book separately later, but it'll be $100. It's real leather. It's the whole thing. It's legit, okay? Anywhere you go, you would pay $100 for a handmade, and the pages are handmade. We're going to tea stain the pages. I'm going to teach you how to make paint. I'm going to have you do your handprints. We're going to make 3D pages. Every plant we learn about, you're going to draw. We're going to write the botanical name. You're going to write your own wheel of the year. You're going to write all your sacred symbols. During the first class, we're going to write a dedication page where you're going to dedicate this. And you can sign it or not sign it. And maybe yours will end up in the jungle. And someone will find it and go, who wrote this? You know, there's me running around in my bathing suit. Who wrote this? I have to know who wrote this. And people are saying, nadie sabe. Nobody knows? It wasn't signed. Can you imagine? And this is only one part of the class. So let me break it down. This is the logo of the program. What is it? It's the caduceus symbol from modern medicine for healing, combined with the phoenix and the moon. So we're going to be healing, rebirthing ourselves, and connecting with the energy of the moon. I have been through, I want to say a couple of things about if you're new to, anybody new, by the way, to Sage Goddess or to my online programs, anything like that. I've had quite a journey. I really have. I've had quite a journey. I have lost two of the most important people in my life in the last 3 years, 2.5 years. I have experienced what most people would call major illness 3 times in my life, and yet, as we were saying last night, I rise. I'm here to tell you that no matter what you're facing, whether it's physical, you want to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, not only am I on that path with you, I designed the symbol, I did. I don't do vegan leather, I just have to tell you, and I'll come back to that. I don't, because there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm not vegan, but the reason I don't do vegan leather journals is this leather already exists. No animal was harmed for me in the making of this journal. Since it's already existing, I want it to be worked with in a ceremonial way. Okay? So I honor the vegan path. I really do, completely. But this was not leather created for me. It already existed in the world. How beautiful to take something that already exists and work with it in a sacred way to become a ceremonial piece. Okay. That's just me as a teacher. Up to you in your practice. But that's one of the reasons why I often work with real leather, is because that leather already is here. And rather than seeing it go to, I don't know, a purse or not that purses aren't beautiful, but rather than seeing it go to something that isn't sacred, I would love to see it going to something ceremonial. Because I believe the energy of that animal spirit is with you as you work with this journal, and is grateful that it gets to contribute to your magical practice and your lineage and your legacy. Okay, and you don't have to do the annual option. So let me back up. There's a couple things I need to tell you. First of all, there is one class a month you can do if you want to have the energy of the program, and it's actually one of the most fun classes. It's $44 a month. And you can still do the annual option, by the way, which still saves you $88, which is kind of cool. If you sign up for the whole year. It's every fourth Sunday at my house with me, cooking and hanging out. I'll do live readings sometimes. Sometimes I might travel with you, or I might have a teacher with me. I have one teacher who wants to come on one of the Sundays as a surprise to you. And that is an option for you. So if you're like, well, I want to come and hang out with you, I want to do this, but I can't do $100 a month, it's just too much. That's too much of a commitment right now. You can do Sacred Circle, which is every fourth Sunday. It's 2 hours. You know it's going to end up being 2.5 hours, but whatever. And it's intimate. We're going to be cooking and making syrups and tinctures. We're going to be learning. Sometimes a teacher might be there. Sometimes we'll be outside in the spring and summer. Sometimes we'll be inside. And so every class is Wednesday for the first 3 Wednesdays of the month. But then the fourth class, Sacred Circle, you can do on its own. And that's at home. Or not here. Okay? So that might be something kind of cool for you if you're like, I want to dip my toe in, but I can't do the whole program right now. How do I come and play in a way that's affordable? Then you do Sacred Circle. And yes, as a Sacred Circle member, you can still buy the journal later as an option. We're going to offer it to all students and all programs, as many as we have remaining. You just won't be with us for the journaling session, which is session 3. So let me break down the program for you. Okay, and Karen is right here in the feed, by the way. So a lot of your questions, like Carly and all of you, I'm going to be talking about the program, but Karen's also here answering your questions in the feed. She's got the gold box around her, so just pay attention to her comments too, because she's answering some of your questions and tagging you guys as well. So for $100 a month, you don't have to do the whole year up front, first of all. Let me tell you why. Because I'm one of those people, if you don't know who I am, or you've never studied with me, or even if you do and times are tight, you don't want to commit to a whole year up front. What if you join it and you hate it? Or what if you, like, I don't know, like, whatever. You don't want to commit to it. You can go month to month and cancel at any time. For $100, you get to see me every week. And in January, we have 5 classes. So next Wednesday, the 3rd, is an 11-year recap of my favorite 11 principles from the last 11 years of my online magical teachings, and it's a free bonus. Then the following Wednesday is session 1. We're going to set up our altars, we're going to work with our herbs, and we're going to work with our oils. We're going to kind of lay out all of our tools. And we are going to dedicate ourselves to our work of the month. So it's kind of an overview and an altar setup, an arrangement. All of that happens session 1. I have about 9 hours of stuff to tell you in session 1, and I'm trying to narrow it down to 2 hours, because that first session, I'm going to teach you about concepts of set and setting, how to set up an altar, what an altar is, what the history of it is. I'm going to teach you about how altars have been created in different civilizations, and then kind of give you the freedom to set up your sacred space. You're going to have your certificate of dedication. You're going to assign that, and we're going to write our dedication page in our book of wisdom. Session 2 is when we get into our archetypes for the month. In January, it's even Lilith, and we have 2 little apples, red jasper and obsidian, one for Eve, it's the fruit of the tree of knowledge, darling, and one for Lilith. And we're going to do guided meditation, sound healing journey together every second session with our archetypes of the month, and the archetypes change every month. Okay, session 3 is our art journaling session. So that's when we're going to take our amber, and we're going to take our black cohosh, which I'm going to teach you about, of course, and we're going to take our pomegranate powder, and we're going to start to journal, draw the plants, take the herbs, either glue them or adhere them with saliva, which is kind of how I'm going to do it. I'm going to teach you during session 1, we're all going to gather together and choose an apple. And we are going to dry apples, and we're going to also, I'm going to teach you how to press your apple juice, to take apple juice and actually anoint the first couple of pages of your journal with the juice of your apple, because when you slice an apple, there's a star. So you're also getting an offering bowl with your tools that comes with 3 apple slices, pumpkin seeds, which I'll teach you what these are all about, and rose hips. So we're going to, over the course of the year, every month, you're going to get a new bag of offerings, and you're going to build this up. Why is this happening? Yeah, you can use clear nail polish too. I like spit, but I'm that kind of girl. So why are we doing offerings? Can I tell you about this offering bowl? So I met with the shaman at the edge of a cenote. Does anybody know what a cenote is? I think some of you know what a cenote is, right? I met with him at the edge of a cenote. We were supposed to meet for a few hours, ended up being almost half the day. And by the way, there's 2 sapphires in here. My bowl only has the one. There's an orange sapphire and a black sapphire that are coming in here, and I put some black salt in here too. But your kit, if you want them, their tools are optional, comes with apple, cohosh, or apple, rose hips, the pumpkin seeds, and the sapphires. Okay. So, let me tell you. And by the way, we custom made these bowls for you. It's neem wood, which the neem tree grows in any climate, which is really fascinating to me. You cannot kill a neem tree. And then we rimmed it in copper, and on the bottom it actually says Sage Goddess. Do you see that? So we custom made these bowls for you. So this bowl comes with your first month of tools, and then so does the apple and the rose hip and the sapphires and the pumpkin seeds. So the shaman, before we began, said, I'm going to, stay with me. I'm going to open a circle. And the way he opened a circle, you ready? He went to the edge of the cenote with his offering bowl. Okay. A cenote is a sinkhole. Do you know what killed the dinosaurs? There was actually an asteroid that hit the planet right at the Yucatan Peninsula called Chicxulub. I believe it was 60 million years ago. And it created, not only did it create a smoke cloud and an ash cloud that covered the planet in darkness, but it also created sinkholes throughout the entire, what we know now as Mexico, called cenotes. So there was so much pressure from the Chicxulub asteroid collision that it caused these pressure holes to develop, and they're actually all connected underground. So we were on the edge of a cenote, one of the northernmost cenotes in Mexico. And he said, I'm going to open a circle. And I said, so I'm waiting for him to open it with a wand. That's not how he opened a circle. He said, this is the circle. Watch. So he went to the edge of the cenote with his bowl of offerings. And all of the fish in the cenote came from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. They bubbled up. And they ringed around his offering bowl. And then he took his offerings. He took his pumpkin seeds and he had rose hips, he had dried pieces of rosemary and basil, and he had slices of dried fruit, and he put them in the water, and the fish all came up in a complete circle, and they took all the offerings, and then they retreated. And he looked at me and he said, "The circle is open." And I thought, what an incredible way to open a circle. He said, "No, this is the circle. They're going to open the circle." It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And literally all he had to do was walk forward and put the bowl down. He didn't say anything. The fish came from all the directions. They were like the guides and the guardians. And it was all the way around. And I sat and wept. I just could not stop crying, just watching this incredible sight. And so we are going to continue to open circles this year. I still think there's a lot of beauty in taking our selenite wand, for example, right? And opening a circle, as we traditionally do as Sage Goddess, right? We always open our circles and close our circles. But there are different ways in the world to open a circle, and it isn't always about having a specific tool. It's about the offerings that you make to nature. And then I'm telling you, those fish departed counterclockwise. They departed counterclockwise. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. When I was a student of leadership, there's a quote in Shakespeare, and I'm not going to give you the exact quote, but I will tell you, here's the upshot of the quote. The two characters are talking to each other, and the one character says, "Are you really a leader?" And the other character says, "Of course I'm a leader, right? I have this title and that title." And the other character goes, "No, but when you call them, will they come? But when you call them, will they come?" And I thought to myself, we can open circles all day long, right? In the etheric and the astral. But when you call them, will they come? When you hold out your bowl of offerings, do you believe that nature will respond in that way? And it so reminded me of that moment of teaching leadership and thinking, a real leader, when you call them, they come. And it isn't about your title or your power, or because you're the king or you're the hoo-ha or the, you know what I mean? Like you're some super duper whooper person, right? When you call them, will they come? When he called them, they came. And he didn't even call that. He just went like that. So you get the bowl, you get the offerings, which will come in this cutie pie bag with the logo that I dreamed up, but I give full credit to Bruce, who's our lead graphic designer. He brought it to life. And then your amber resin, which is going to take your breath away. And again, we're going to take your amber resin, we're going to burn a little bit together, because just to give you a sense of like what class is going to be like, we're going to burn some together, because some of you are new, and I think this is really, really cool. And I love having new students in class. And what I'm going to tell you, watch how easily the amber crumbles, by the way. Do you see that? Does that turn you on? I don't know. It turns me on. And then look what we're going to do. I don't even know if this is my book of wisdom, but guess what, y'all? When you have herbs and oils on your hands for the rest of your life, what I want you to do is open your book. That's real amber essential oil, right? Because that's the oil from the resin. Onto the book it goes. And you can go through and just rub the pages. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, Karen's here. She's got all the deets on your shipping and everything, so she will. And God bless you, Karen, for being here, and Team SG for having all the information. We're so grateful to you. It's so good. And then if there's left over, you can put it in your shawl and run it through your hair. And then the best part is you get to burn it. So there it is. Do you see the little orange little pieces? And it burns. I want to show you. It cooks. And so again, if this is interesting to you, if you love learning about, I'm going to teach you, I'm not teaching you tonight because I don't want to give everything about class away. But if this is interesting to you and you love learning about resins and where they come from and how we burn them and weave them and rub them into our wisdom tradition and bring them to life, you see how it stays lit? Yeah, amber burns and burns and burns. Amber is fossilized tree resin. So it's ancient, it's protective, it calls in your ancestors. All the ancestors know this smell, by the way. They all know it. So they all come when you burn it. They're like, ooh, where's the amber coming from, right? Spirit communicates through scent. So this is the kind of wisdom you're going to be receiving in the Apothecary program. And again, you can register now. Oh my God, it smells so good. Scratch and sniff it. SageGoddess.com/apothecary if you have not registered yet. So one of my, I have 2 giveaways for tonight. I'm going to do the first one now. I have a surprise. So if you know that I used to make these little containers called sacred offerings. And these are all dried plants and flowers, including white sage from my dad's original plants. So there's all kinds of different herbs and flowers that you can burn as an incense or just keep it in your new apothecary cabinet that you're making. But tonight, I'm taking a little bit of the amber from our tools for the month, just a little bit. And I'm going to break it up and I'm going to add some into these 2 jars. Would any of you like some amber? So all you have to say is, because again, all these giveaways tonight are for people who have registered or are registering for your program. So all you have to say is registered, and 2 of you are going to get from my garden, and I've decorated these by hand, by the way. So these are, there's blue lotus flowers in these. There's marigold flowers. There's chamomile. There's everlasting life flower, which is helichrysum. There's rose petals from my garden. There's little chipstones and gemstones in here. See, there's little pieces of quartz. So it's a really beautiful little mix, and I just added some amber to it. If you say register or registered, and you can say it on Instagram too, or you can say it on Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to choose 2 winners of amber right now. Inside these 2 gorgeous jars of sacred offerings that have little flowers on them. And this will look gorgeous on your apothecary cabinet next to all of your tools. Isn't that fun? Just to give you a sense of like what we're making and what we're going to create. And I want to inspire you too, because if anything dies in your garden, you know what to do, right? You cut it and you keep it in a jar. If anything is beautiful and it's fresh, you dry it and you keep it. And then when your hands are dirty, you rub them in your book of wisdom. This is Apothecary. And you're getting a really nice taste of the program. Okay, so I'm looking on Instagram, and I'm going to choose 1 winner on Instagram. I'm going to choose 1 on our YouTube and Facebook. Okay. So YouTube and Facebook, the winner is Tracy McGee. Congratulations, Tracy. You are winning this jar of sacred offerings. Tracy, this one belongs to you, Tracy McGee. Congratulations. And thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're here. And then on Instagram, the winner is... and I love it so much. Brooklyn, the Crochet Hooker. You are the winner of my 2nd jar of sacred offerings. My mom would be so glad that I'm choosing a crochet hooker, because my mom crocheted and I think that's the coolest. Instagram handle you could have, because if you crochet, you use a crochet hook, and that makes you a hooker. And I'm here for that. So congratulations. Yay! That was really fun. And by the way, even if you can participate in all of our giveaways tonight, even if you join the Sacred Circle program, which is the once a month. That's a good way to start, because if you're like, again, this all sounds interesting, I want to see what she's like, I want to be with her in her house and hang out and kind of see if it resonates with me, start with Sacred Circle. You know what I mean? It works out to be about like $21 an hour for class. Is that right? Actually, no, it's $44 for 2 hours. Yeah, so $22 an hour for class. And you're going to get what you pay for. You know what I mean? Like we're going to be cooking and laughing and engaging, and I'll be answering all your questions. It's very intimate. That Sacred Circle is in my house. So it's not going to be here with lights and camera and action. It's going to be a very intimate, you're in my kitchen, or you're in my crystal room, or we're outside, or we're meditating, or we're traveling, or my teacher's here, or whatever. So yeah, if you want to register, that's what Karen is here for. She's got all the links for you. sagegoddess.com/apothecary. sagegoddess.com/apothecary is the fastest way. If you're on Instagram and you're like ready to go to the link in our bio. There's a little, I think it says register. And our team is also commenting in the Instagram feed, which I'm so grateful for. So they will also just kind of pop in and let you know. sagegoddess.com/apothecary. And if you sign up month to month, you can cancel at any time if you join and you're like, oh, I don't love this. But I will tell you something. I've been teaching online classes in magic for, like I said, this is just over 11 years. A lot of my students have been there since the beginning. It's true. How many of you have been here for multiple years in the feed? Put your hand up, because you know who you are. They just graduated last night, by the way. This year's class of 2023 just graduated last night. We had a huge graduation ceremony. A lot of them are lifers. So, you know, because, and it's because I think, because every year is different, I don't repeat any concepts I've ever taught. I have all my original notebooks from every class I've ever taught, and I don't repeat anything. So listen to them. Don't listen to me. Why should someone join a program? I like for you to hear it from them, because when I'm joining something, I want to hear like, yes, it was good, or I enjoyed it, or this was my favorite part, or whatever. Like, I don't just want to hear some talking head go, join my program, or whatever. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you should join because A, your spirit's calling you. B, you want a community of people who are going to care about you unconditionally and be there for you. You want to learn something new. You want a teacher who's in it to win it. And you want somebody with experience who's going to lead you through some pretty incredible moments. You know what I mean? And you want to end the year going, I did this. Like, you're going to get certified as an apothecary, which was actually a title. In the old times, we were medicine keepers. I want to take a minute to, I want to preach for a second. Can I preach? By the way, you can ask questions and my students in the feed will answer you. They're not shy. I don't teach shy people. Millie's here. It's her 7th year, right? Thank you for all of your comments, by the way. Honestly, like, I think it's longer than that. And also, I don't F around. Like, I'm real deal, real talk. So we talk about all the things. Like, if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. So it's not like I'm here going, oh, we can only talk about herbs or whatever. We get into everything. We talk about life. We talk about death. We talk about grief. We talk about loss. We talk about sex. We talk about raising kids. I mean, it's just like nothing's off the table. But I am going to preach for a minute. Are you ready? Even my team doesn't know what I'm about to say, and they always get nervous. Okay. 2,000 years ago, and we could go way further back than that, but 2,000 years ago, Hippocrates, who's the father of medicine, by the way. When doctors graduate today with an MD, they take something called the Hippocratic Oath, okay? We do talk about sex. Sorry. Not sorry? Gets weird sometimes. but I'm kind of here for it. I'm Greek. Hippocrates was Greek. He was the father of modern medicine today. Everything we have in the world of medicine today, including medical education, is a result of his life. And that's why doctors today take the Hippocratic Oath to harm none. That was Hippocrates. Hippocrates is famous for saying two things. One, harm none. Who else says harm none? Oh, the Wiccans and pretty much every other spiritual path. Like, do what you will, but you start harming people, guess what happens to you? It's really interesting. It comes back to you. Wow, look at that. It's a boomerang effect, right? So doctors should not harm anyone. Energy workers, herbalists, medicine keepers, we take an oath not to harm, right? So we do things with the highest good in mind. What else did Hippocrates say? Does anyone know? He's famous for a second saying. Let thy food be thy medicine. Hippocrates said he could heal anyone with two ingredients, which I take every day in the morning because of him. Honey and apple cider vinegar. He did. He said, I can heal anyone if you give me honey and apple cider vinegar. To this day, honey and apple cider vinegar have all kinds of antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal properties. Okay? So to this day, we still work with those medicines. In fact, they're really good to work together if you take them both together, which is what I do in the morning. Now, what did he mean by that? He didn't necessarily just mean the food you eat. He meant the herbs and the spices and the flowers and everything around you that comes from the natural world. Let that be thy medicine. Okay? My grandmother, I don't know if my sister's here. My favorite story that my dad ever told me is that it's actually my great grandmother, his mother's mother, was a medicine woman, and people used to come to see her. And they would travel by boat because there was no other way to get to her. And they would come with whatever their ailment was, and she would do leeches or make salves or balms. And my father has very early memories of my grandmother who had no money, and it was wartime, but she would simmer olive oil and take rose petals and grape leaves and all these things and simmer them to make perfume. So when I started making perfume through Sage Goddess, he said, oh my God, you remind me of my grandmother's, or your grandmother, my mother, so much. Because I remember her making perfume by taking olive oil, which is what they produced, and then just simmering the leaves, very low temperature. But he's like, I so remember being in the kitchen as a little boy and watching, and look what you do, right? Like you're doing the same thing. You're carrying your lineage forward. This is in my blood and my veins. Herbs and spices, what do they do for your food? They make it taste better. Crystals and jewelry, what do they do for your body? For me, they make it pretty, right? Like I don't have to wear jewelry and I work with crystals. You don't have to wear jewelry and work with crystals, but I bet you do, or you wouldn't be here. And what do they do for you? They zhuzh you, right? They make you feel, they raise your vibration, and they make you feel beautiful, and they make you feel adorned and anointed and all of these things, right? Your herbs, your flowers, your resins, your crystals, your stones, right? Your jewelry that you wear every day that is so much a part of who you are, right? I never take any of the jewelry you see me wearing now. I don't take it off. I shower in it. I sleep in it. I love in it. I cry in it. They make you happy. They add to the value of your life. This program is about teaching you how to add value to your life. Now, certain herbs bring you money. Certain stones bring you love. Certain spices add to your sex drive, and they increase passion and courage and creativity. Certain stones lower your vibration so that when you're having anxiety, they sort of bring you and they ground you and they bring you back down, right? So this whole year is about, it isn't just about like, oh, here's a pomegranate, here's a bottle, let's make an incense, let's burn something. It's the energetics of these things, and it is the alchemy of these herbs and oils and crystals. In the past, up until this point, I have taught everything in a silo. Let's talk about crystals, and now let's talk about sound, and now let's talk about, but they were always separate classes. This is the first year where it's like this. And it's the first year where then we're going to document it. So you don't just leave the year with some worksheets or like a bunch of stuff in your mind that maybe you forget. You're actually leaving with a document of everything that we did together, so that one day, hate to break it to you, you won't be here. 100 years from now, y'all, we're not going to be here unless there's some really interesting advance that I don't know of. And I'm totally open to that, right? The fifth dimension doesn't have time and space. But as long as we're 3D, there will be a time when we're not here. What would you give? Because I can tell you what I would give if your magical mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, do you know what I would give if my great-grandmother's recipes were written down? Just to have this, nothing else. Forget money or land or inheritance, or forget any of that, right? Do you know what I would give for that? And the book will be available to members. So yes, if you join programs but you don't sign up for the whole annual, we will not have books for non-members, and I'm so sorry to tell you that, but it's very hard to make these. Each one is made by hand. But we're going to do this together. So even if you sign up for Sacred Circle, if we have enough books, we will have them available for you. And we're going to do this together. Do you know what I would give? I don't have her recipes. I don't have her fingerprints. She didn't lick the pages and anoint with the oils. I don't know what she smelled like. When someone came to her and said, I have muscle pain, I don't know what she told them. She didn't leave any document, but I would give almost anything I own to have this from her. This is the gift. This class is not just a gift that you give to yourself. This class is a gift that you give to every generation coming behind you, ahead of you, who's going to say, my godmother, my mom, my aunt, my mom's best friend was super magic. And guess what she left me? I have all her stuff. I know the prayer she said at the new moon. I know the intentions that she set. I know what she used to say at the full moon. I know what she smelled like, right? I would give anything to have this. My mom was magic too, and my grandmother on my maternal side. Super magic, women of faith. Had biblical passages that they would read because the Word of God is a living document. It activates energies. Like I have so little of that, of any document, of anything that they said. I would give anything for my mom to. I have little pressed flowers. Sometimes she would leave in a book, right? That are there. But that's it. It wasn't like, oh, this came from this date and we were in this garden and it meant this to me, or I went on a walk with you, right? And you were, 15 and you didn't notice, but I picked this flower and I put it in this notebook and I put it here because you looked so beautiful. And one day I knew you would look at this. And I'm sorry to be emotional about it. But my mom passed away a few years ago and I don't have very much from her. She wasn't like a thing person. So what I have left are little scraps of notes that she left. And I frame them because it's what I have. And I want you through the year to write little notes and just stick them in here with a little flower that you find on your hike or your walk. Because they're so incredibly important. This class is for you. I'm just here to guide you, but this class is for you. I want you to feel the love and the energy and the intention behind it, because one day when you're not here, the people who are left behind to try to learn from you they're gonna look everywhere they can for little signs of you. And if there's a notebook that smells like you because you hugged it and you rubbed your shit on it and you wrote your poems in it and do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to mean so much to them to have that from you. And what an honor for me. I mean, even my tears are on this, right? Like, what an honor for me to be able to guide you through this experience. It's very sincere from my heart. I'm really fortunate because I'm at a point in my career where I don't have to do things just to do them. I really don't. And I'm only going to teach for a certain number of years now going forward. Hopefully for a few, but I'm getting older, right? So, and I'm not going to do this class again. And so I really want to encourage you, if any of this is speaking to you, tonight isn't really about like, I'm not a salesy person. If you don't want a class like this, it's like, you shouldn't do it. But if it's speaking to you, if there's something in your soul going, yes, I want to leave a legacy. Yes, I want to learn with these people. We have incredible mixed media artists who have registered, who may or may not be here tonight. I'm thinking of Vanya, who are actually going to kind of help me teach you. I mean, it's not just me you're going to learn from. There's incredible people in this community who are going to be helping and guiding and leading you too. I didn't mean to cry. That was just like a sincerely emotional moment. I literally like have scavenged for anything my mom wrote down, and it just wasn't very much. And so I don't know that I would be teaching this class if she hadn't died and I didn't realize how important this was. And then I look at my children who, you know, at their age, I didn't care. But now at my age, I'm like, it's all I care about. I don't need things. I just wish I had her smell, and I wish I had her words and her voice. You know what I mean? I wish I had more video. I wish I had more. It's the energy, right? So we're going to document this in all of here in this book together. Anyway, right, Mom? She wasn't a thing person, but she was a word person, and the notes and the birthday cards and all of that, you can tuck that in there. When you write a birthday card to your child, right? Sometimes they leave all that stuff behind. Tuck it in your book of wisdom. They're going to find it one day and treasure it. Be like, oh my God, this birthday card, like that's where she put it. You know what I mean? Or like, you take a picture, or you find a picture in your drawer, right? And you're like, oh, this is my favorite picture of me and my son, or this is my favorite picture of me and my sister. Tuck it in there. Someone's going to find all of this, and they're going to think they have won the spiritual lottery. And it's just you documenting your path and your journey. It's really, truly true. Okay. Now, do you want to make perfume? What did I do with all my droppers? Hold on, this is a me dilemma. A lot of times when I'm looking for things, they're like right in front of me. And then did I take them and put them some? Oh, here they are. Okay. These are essential oils from my house that I brought in today. And Team SG put them in these little bottles and labeled them. So I decided to choose 5 because there's 5 points in the star. There's 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And I'm going to give these bottles away. So I'm going to make 5 vials of perfume. So again, if you haven't registered, go register now. sagegoddess.com/apothecary. Pick a program. Anybody who's registered and watching on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you are going to be able to enter to win this perfume. I'm intuitively blending. I'm not going to make this again, but I am going to tell you why I chose these oils. And again, these are from home. These aren't even from Sage Goddess. So I hope you're having fun, and I'm excited to make perfume with you. The first one is Champaka. Okay, this is pure red Champaka from Indonesia, which is one of the most expensive oils on the planet. The Champaka tree is related to magnolia, and it is it's the oil of feeling like a queen in love. So I am pouring a whole dram of pure Champaka essential oil into this bottle to help you feel like a queen or a king in love. This is called the Night Queen, and it is all the night blooming flowers, including night blooming jasmine. I have day blooming jasmine too, and I'm putting 2 drams of all the night blooming flowers. This is Arabian jasmine, and it is also Egyptian jasmine. Then this one is neroli, my mom's favorite and mine. It is the blossom of the orange tree. And Again, these are all my oils, so I'm putting a full, it's almost 2 grams of neroli to bring you beauty. And then this is mistletoe. Mistletoe, actually, this is a unique distillation because mistletoe in its pure form can be somewhat irritating to the skin. But this is mistletoe with fir balsam and pine, and it is for romance. We kiss under the mistletoe, and it's a little bit of winter medicine for you. I'm pouring a full drum of mistletoe in here. And then the last one is day blooming jasmine. So the flowers of day and the flowers of night, the flowers of romance. Do you see that, how pure and beautiful that is? Are all being alchemized into one blend for you. And I'm going to add jojoba oil as a carrier oil, which has an almost indefinite shelf life. I'm going to add 2 bottles of jojoba. Jojoba is interesting because it mimics the skin's natural sebum, which is the natural oils of your skin. And so it will not, it's hypoallergenic, and it will not cause you to break out in any way. So if you have sensitive skin, it's good for you. I'm only diluting it, so it's 1/3 pure essential oil and then 2/3 carrier oil. And we turn 3 times, honoring the past, blessing the present, co-creating the future. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I haven't smelled this before. I just chose the oils. Woo! A little at our wrist for what we do, at our third eye for what we know, at our ankles to bless our steps and where we go. Oh my God. So you can smell the tree medicine coming through because the dry down is down to that fir and that mistletoe and that pine. But then there's the brightness of the jasmine and the depth of the chapaca, and then there's a little bit of that, like, it's the pop of the orange blossom. Okay, I'm actually going to pour your bottles live, which I think is really cool. So there's 5 of you who are going to win this blend. If you want to enter to win it, you can start saying registered or register now. We will confirm your registration. Just people go, well, how do you know they're registered? We'll confirm your registration before we give it away. So if you want a bottle, that's all you have to say. Register first. SageGoddess.com/apothecary. Karen's giving you the links so you can go and do it. If there's leftover, I'll make a few droppers of it. Good luck, everybody. The plants and the trees. Isn't that fun? We're going to make perfume together this year. Your first kit comes with essential oils, and they're beautiful. It includes Styrax, which is hypnotic. But this is a special one for those of you who are here tonight. And like I said, it's all oils from my house, so I can't recreate it. I'm only going to make it once. And I'm going to choose as many winners as I can. So if I make, let's see, I'm making 1, 2, 3. I made quite a bit, so I might be able to make some droppers too. I'm going to wait to choose winners until Jasmine, my mouse isn't working. Hey Jasmine, come up, will you? My mouse isn't working on my feed. I gotta be able to choose winners for my perfume. That gives her a minute to hop on up. You guys on Instagram can also say, the tools are extra, by the way, the tools are separate. I do that because some people just want to register for class. I wish I could give you a month's worth of tools and 8 to 10 hours of teaching for $100. Unfortunately, I can't do that. But I will, you know what's interesting? We have not raised our prices on our classes or tools in 3 years. Oh, look how much more I have left. I'm going to make droppers too. That gives Jasmine a minute to come up and fix my mouse. Fixing my mouse. I might be able to do even more than that. Look. She's already here. Yeah, the mouse works on the other screen. Sorry, Jasmine. Jasmine and I are Wonder Women because we're working kind of, like I said, a lot of Team SG is on vacation this week, so we're doing all the duties here together. Okay, well, you know what that means, y'all. That means I'm going to make 2 big bottles of it too, or at least 1. I'd like to keep just a touch of it. So yeah, it works. The mouse works on that one, but not on that one. You are welcome to come over here if you need to get in here and do your thing. I'm going to keep just a little tiny bit. So I bet you Team SG has one more little tiny roller they can give to. Doesn't it smell good?
It smells amazing. Look, there you
go. Okay, yay. Okay. So now I'm going to pop your caps. It sounds terrible. I'm going to pop your caps and put them all back on. Team SG will clean your bottles before you get them, so you're not getting your, thank you, Jasmine. So you're not getting oily bottles. Not that you would care. Remember, we're not here for, if you're a super clean person, this program probably isn't going to be very fun for you. Oh, I have one more. I'm going to keep this one, if you don't mind, because I made so many extra. I just want a little bit for me to remember tonight. This is for me. So I'm giving away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bottles tonight. Holy smokes. I didn't realize I was going to be able to make that much, but that's so cool that so many of you are getting perfume. So yeah, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, just say registered or register. I get it. Whatever feels right to you. I'm just putting all your caps on. I'm so stoked that I was able to make so much. This is awesome. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bottles tonight. Somebody's getting the mother load. And then there's even a bottle for me. And then again, look. And rub the sides and rub the leather. Leather holds the scent, right? And then do you know what else you can do with essential oils? Is you can light your herbs. I'm sure you know this, but I'll teach you about this next year. But light your herbs, and then you can take just a little bit of your oils once everything is lit, and drop a little on where your incense is lit, and it will diffuse the essential oils into your space too, which is beautiful. It becomes an incense. Okay, so let me choose. I'm going to choose 8 from the feed on Facebook and YouTube first. And I'm going all the way back through, so I've got you, even if you said registered a few minutes ago. Michelle Stewart, you are receiving 1. Okay, Coral Stevenson. Coral, 11 years, I know. Coral has been here the whole time. Coral's getting 1. Congratulations to you guys. Let's see. And if you're new, that's first too. Tina, is it Higas or Higes? First class registered. You are getting a bottle, so that's fun. One of my newest and one of my most senior. That's fun, back to back. Jamie Vest, you are receiving a bottle. Kaz Parmenter, you're receiving a bottle. Let's see, let me go back down. So much fun. When I choose giveaways, if you don't know, I just follow intuition. I'm always really like led. Sheila Ames, you are getting 1. Congratulations. Glad that you are here. Who's next? Let's see. Amanda Gleff, you are receiving 1. And let's see. 8th, actually. Where am I going, Spirit? Spirit's like, wait for this one. Let's see. Leslie Forchow, number 8. So those are my 8 on YouTube and Facebook. Congratulations to all of you. Wish I could send this to you through the screen. And then on Instagram, just say registered. Make sure. We'll double check your registration too. So Chana Colbert is receiving a bottle. I have 2 winners for Instagram, which is really exciting. And Deanna Saurus B, you are receiving the 10th bottle. So it's 2 for Instagram, and I did 8 for our YouTube and Facebook group. And like I said, I'm drowning in it, but it's so good. Now, the other way to work with, because if you got your tools for the Sacred Circle, which is your selenite wand, and then you're getting 2 little snakes, which are here. Where are you, snakes? Rub it on your selenite. Selenite loves to receive essential oils. It holds the scent. And rub it on your sari ribbon, because silk also holds the scent. And it will diffuse that scent and hold it. So when we make our wands together, because this is going to represent Eve and Lilith, and the snake coming and talking to Eve and Lilith about the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And then this will be the tool that we use to open and close our circles. Every tool has meaning and intention, and then we're going to attach our beautiful snakes to represent wisdom and temptation and all the things. So wait till I teach you about Eve and Lilith. You can, when you get your tools, if you have this wand or want to mimic it at home. So I get to set aside 1. I've spilled it everywhere, by the way, so I'm so happy about that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look how beautiful it is. This really deep amber color. 7, 8, 9, 10. And how magical. My bottle is number 11. And that's really how long we've been together, so I think that's really cool. I'm going to tell you just a few more things about the programs, and then I want to see what questions you have and make sure that I can answer all of your questions. Wasn't that fun? Yeah, so if you've been chosen as a giveaway, by the way, please visit support.sagegoddess.com and say, hey, I am a winner of the perfume. I'm Sheila, and I won one of the bottles tonight. And that's how we will create what we call a manual order. And then that will show up in our shipping system, and that will flag our team to send you one of the bottles. So support.sagegoddess.com. Karen and Team SG, who's also commenting on Instagram, and thank you Team SG for being on Instagram with us tonight too. So grateful for you. So they're going to comment too and just let you know. But support.sagegoddess.com, and just say I'm one of the winners of the perfume, and they will double check your winnership. I still have some left. Does anybody want just a little? I don't like to waste anything. Does anybody want just a little? The first person to say, I want just a little, I'm going to send it to you. And you're going to tell them you are the winner of the final drops. Okay, Stacy Coomer said yes. She was the first person I saw. Listen, that's not nothing. I mean, that's like that's still some. All right, Stacy Coomer, get it, girl. You write into support and say, I got a little. And just add more. You know what I'm going to do? You need to do that because I don't want them to get confused. But you can add more jojoba to that, or olive oil or whatever, and you can extend that, or just mix it in some coconut oil, which is my favorite. Or you can pour it into some bath salts and make yourself a bath salt blend. Or you can mix it into your sacred offering so it extends through the whole year. You know what I mean? Like, you can add it to an incense blend that you've already made. I know I'm weird. I'm full of ideas. Okay, so what are you getting this year? I want to just clarify and make sure I've gone through the deets, because you know me, like I'm all about teaching you all the things. Like I said, in session 1, we're going to go through all of our sacred offerings. We're going to set up our altar, and we're going to dedicate ourselves to the work of the month. And then I'm going to teach you a core concept. The first month is called Set and Setting, and it's how to prepare yourself for sacred ceremonial work. That's very important. It's still somewhat different than what I've taught in the past. So if you are experienced, you're still going to get something new out of it. If you're new, you're going to love that too. Even before we get there, next Wednesday is session 1, and that is the 11-year recap of all of my teaching. I have my original notebooks going back to sabbatical. I've chosen 11 of my favorite teachings, and I'm doing a live 2-hour pre-cap before we even start. And that's next Wednesday. So that's why you want to register tonight at sagegoddess.com/apothecary. Where do you go? sagegoddess.com/apothecary. If you're on Instagram, you go to the link in the bio, you click, add to cart, you do the thing, boop to boop, and you're in the program. If you're not on Instagram, you can go to Instagram, still use the link in bio, or you can go to sagegoddess.com/apothecary, click the click, boop to boop, you're in the program. That's going to get you access to that first free 11-year recap of my teaching. Why is that important? Well, if you're new, don't you want to know where we've been? That way you don't feel new. And then on January 2nd, you're going to get admitted to our private Facebook group. That's going to get you getting to know everybody, sharing in the community, posting pictures of your altar, asking questions. And I'm available, and Karen Brown is available there to answer questions between classes too, so you feel like you have additional guidance. Also, you're going to see me quite a bit in that Facebook group doing not weird, but cool lives and things from my house too. So get excited about that. That's session 1. Session 2, what are we doing? Every month there are guides for us, and they're brand new. People I've never talked about. Eve and Lilith. Who are Eve and Lilith? Do you know who Eve and Lilith are? Well, the Abrahamic traditions, which are Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, all acknowledge that there was a first wife. And then there was the other wife, who there's debate, right? Was Eve Adam's first wife, or was Lilith Adam's first wife? I'm not so interested in Eve and Lilith as I am interested in, you ready? Do we feel like we're lovable as we are, or that we have to become someone else, or change, or obey someone, or follow certain rules to be worthy of love? That's what these first stories are about. It's about authenticity. Lilith was, this is the quick version, I'll teach you more in class. Lilith was Adam's first wife. She didn't want to be on the bottom of anything. He didn't like that. She left. God said, you go back. She didn't. God made him a new wife. She seemed better, more obedient. Except in the garden, there was a snake who went, I'm trying not to make the snake sound like Oscar. Hey, so anyway, if you eat this fruit, I'll give you a lot of wisdom. And she's like, well, we're not supposed to eat that fruit. That's the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And the snake said, what? No, don't worry, it's okay. It's, nothing to see here. It's not really what I'm giving you the Cliff's Notes. So she was like, well, okay. So she and Adam ate it, and they were banished from the garden forever. Because they had too much wisdom. So, was Eve better? Did she disobey in her own way? And what does it even mean to follow the rules, right? Like, for me, the question of Eve and Lilith is so much bigger than marriage and first wife and who's the first wife and who's good and who's bad and all that stuff. For me, the question of Eve and Lilith is, we all are light and shadow. Okay? We all have this really good, I shouldn't eat that, and then this other side where it's like, but it looks kind of good and the snake told me it'd be all right. because we all are human. And so it goes to this question of what I wrote down to say to you was, who do we feel like we have to become in order to be loved, and where do we learn this? Because I think the work of life is to remember that you are worthy of love as you are. You're perfect. There's nothing to fix, change, or solve. And so once we own that, it allows us to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that are our shadow, or the sort of repressed, denied, unrevealed. And then we become whole human beings, and then that's the work. I don't know how you feel about that recap, but that felt like a very accurate that felt like a very accurate overview of kind of the story. They're both naughty in their own way. But listen, are you all well behaved? Come on now. You wouldn't be here if you were. And so there's some part of us that wants to follow kind of the rules. Like, don't eat that, don't do this, dress like this, don't dress like that, be on top, be on the bottom, whatever it is. And then there's some part of us that wants to push and test and see what the boundaries are, right? So I'm just saying we're going to talk about all of that as part of session 2, and we're going to journey into understand these archetypes a little bit more. But the archetypes are just parts of you, right? Where do you have something that needs to get a little pushed, right? Where do you need to eat a little bit from the fruit of the tree of knowledge, right? If you've been tied up and kind of restricted, where do you need to say, no, enough is enough, and this is where I begin and you end, or this is where I end and you begin, and you're not going to tell me what to do. And what does liberation and freedom feel like for you? If that's interesting to you, session 1 is going to be really an interesting little journey. I'm a little bit Lilith. I'm a little bit Eve. I write and I sing really terrible songs. But I am. I'm so much Lilith and I'm so much Eve. Some days I'm like Holly Hobby, and other days I'm like, I'm the dangerous friend that you probably shouldn't hang out with too much because I put crazy ideas in your head, right? So we all kind of have that duality, and I think it's cool to kind of explore all of that. Session 3 is where we start to put the goods on the page. That's our mixed media session. And then session 4 is me at my house, and it's going to be all kinds of crafting, and sometimes I'm going to be going live with you and going, hey, you know what? We're going to make syrup. We're going to make tincture. We're going to, I'm going to play my drums today in the crystal room. We're going to go out in the garden. We're going to, oh, my teacher happens to be here. Let's do some live readings. Like, session 4 is going to be a little bit of a wild card, which is why I think it's fun that you can sign up for that all by itself. The tools. Session 1. So what you get if you are in the entire Apothecary program and you sign up for the tools, you get the offering bowl and you get the offerings. So you get apple slices, you get pumpkin seeds, which I'm going to teach you how to use these ceremonially. You don't know that yet. And rose hips. Those are the offerings. They come in the package. Every month you're going to get a new set of offerings. You add it to your bowl. This is what you take to the cenote, and the fish come and open the circle for you. Okay, so every month your offerings are different. Then you get 3 resins or herbs or flowers in your apothecary jars. We're going to build out your magical cabinet, remember? So in January, you're getting pomegranate powder, you're getting your incredible amber that we played with all night, and you're getting your black cohosh. Interestingly enough, all anti-aging. It's a coincidence, but these all have anti-aging properties. There's a ton more that they do, but I'm just saying, pull that thread a little bit. That's interesting. Then you get a jar to build out, because whatever's left from your journal, we're going to make into an incense for wisdom. So your apothecary cabinet is going to have one shelf of just all the vials, and then a second shelf of all of the blends that you make. Then, no wait, there's more. You're getting 3 essential oils in your kit. You are getting your rosehip oil or carrier oils. You're getting your pomegranate seed oil, again, all anti-aging, interestingly enough this month. and you are getting your Styrax, which smells like amber too. All for seduction, all for those energies. Did I miss anything? Oh, and then you are getting, so you're getting the herbs, you're getting the oils, you're getting the offering bowl and the offerings. You are getting 2 gemstone apples, red jasper and obsidian to represent Eve and Lilith, and those we're going to work with in our meditation because crystals are always going to be part of the curriculum. I can't teach you about magic without teaching you about crystals. It's just not possible. And then I have to move everything out of the way to show you because it's huge. You are getting your altar cloth. And every month you're going to get your, like in January, you're getting your gemstone apples. Every month there's going to be some kind of centerpiece, and then your offering bowl is always going to sit in the middle, so that by the end of the 12 months, you have the entire huge altar cloth built out, and this has our logo in the middle with all kinds of sacred geometry, so you get the mat too. The mat, the offering bowl, the herbs, the offerings, the oils, the apples, and then if you want the final set of tools, which is for the Sacred Circle program, you get, and I can't find my little snakes. It's hard, there's so many like moving pieces that, you know me, and everything is kind of all over the place, but there's 2 little snakes that we're going to attach to either end of the wand, one to represent your Eve, one to represent your Lilith, and then you get the selenite wand and the sari ribbon. And you can attach other crystals and all kinds of things to this too, and make it your own magic. But this is what we're going to use every month to open and close our circles, because you have to have a selenite wand to do that. And so that is your Sacred Circle tools. And we're gonna make these together in Sacred Circle, and then the rest of the 2 hours is going to be open field. So the tools are separate from the classes. If you want your tools, you only have until New Year's Eve, 12:31. At midnight Pacific time, tools go away. If you register for tools after that, you're going to get the February tools. And that's because we need a minute to make your tools. All the herbs, the bottles, everything is made, labeled, filled in-house at Sage Goddess. The apples, custom made for SG. We had these made. The wands were custom made. The snakes were custom made. The mat is custom made. It's all in-house at SG. So even though, you know, we have grown over the years, we're still kind of small, right? And so we need time to make sure we have all of your tools. And then, like I said, if you purchase the annual option of the class, you get this book of wisdom for free. If we have extras once everybody's done registering, and the annual option goes away at midnight on New Year's Eve, we will offer those separately on the website for $100, $99. And thank you, Karen Carley. Actually, I didn't know this, Karen Brown. Karen Carley says if you enroll for the annual membership, you have to order your book. I thought it came automatically. So Karen Brown, can you confirm that, please? So, and if there's a separate link, Karen, would you please provide that? So, because I thought when you got your annual membership, it was kind of automatic, and then you just got charged shipping, because you do have to pay shipping for your book. So thank you to Karen Carley and Karen Brown, both Karens, very experienced. But if there is a separate link, Karen Brown, that they have to go to purchase the book once they've purchased the annual option, can you post that as well? Yeah, so Christy wants to know about the rewards program. Okay, so yes, so Karen says you have to take it through the checkout process. The mat is made of, I actually don't know what it's called. It's like a fibrous sort of, it's a fabric that we have in-house. It's a, I don't know if there's a word for that, but it's almost, it's not a natural, it's synthetic, but it has like a fibrous feel to it, and it's something we have at Sage Goddess. You do have to pay shipping for your book of wisdom. It's free, but you have to pay shipping. It's heavy. And then Karen Brown has all the details on when your tools are going to arrive and shipping and all of that. So she's in the feed. Make sure you're watching her comments, because she's updating everybody about shipping time for tools and cutoff and links to register and all of that. So she's got all the details in the feed, which gives me a chance to kind of just talk about the details. I think it is canvas, but it's like a, there's a name for it. It's canvas, but it's like a fibrous canvas. What's it called? There's a name. I'll show it to you up close. Do you see what I mean? We put it on a board, by the way, so that it kind of, and you can do that too, so that it's a little bit, it doesn't, because when it comes to you, it's going to come rolled up. But it's like a fibrous canvas. Do you see that? It's not just like a, it has like a texture to it, but I don't know what you call that. There's a name for that. One of my artists who are here, you'll tell me what that's called, but it's like a textured canvas. I don't know what that's called. This is where my expertise runs out and I have to defer to the experts. It's a linen canvas, thank you. It's a linen canvas. Okay. The rewards. So if you join programs starting at, I think, the 3rd month, you start getting free money to spend in what's called the vault section of sagegoddess.com, which is where members only get to go and shop for tools from previous classes and also special things that I find at like Tucson or Denver that I think are good just for people in our programs. So special things. Go into something called the vault, and you can't shop the vault unless you're a member of Sacred Circle or Apothecary. And so if you join programs for the year, you're going to earn reward dollars to go spend in the vault section, which is really cool. That's brand new this year. Isn't that fun? So it's like this little secret like place you go that only members get to go. Again, it's like, so you know why we did that? So does anybody remember when I used to go? Some of you are old enough to remember. There's a shop in San Diego. It's my favorite crystal shop on the planet because it's owned by my friend, David Vince. And it's called South American Imports. And he has a back room. And you can't like just go in the back room. It's kind of like tucked away. Not everybody knows there's a back room. Now you know. So if you go, just say, Athena told us about the back room, and it'll be like, oh, Athena. But anyway, I used to shop the back room because I was always so excited. And it was always like his favorite stuff back there. So it inspired me. Now the back room is for anybody in programs. But you don't start earning your points or your dollars until month 3. So if you join and you leave in January, you don't earn vault dollars. But if you're there in March, January, February, March, then you start earning. And then you earn more dollars at the 6-month mark. And then I think you earn like more at the 12-month mark. So anyway, you get to go in the back room and you get to shop and you can apply your dollars. Isn't that cool? The back room. It sounds naughty, but it's actually really exciting. I make it sound way naughtier than it is. It's just fun, cool, secret things. The tools, I don't want to screw up the amount. I always say the wrong amount, but Karen Brown has the total for the monthly tools, and she'll put that in the feed for you. I want to say it's $44 and $100 for the monthly tools. And I think it's the same price for the memberships, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, and whatever she says is correct. And she's going to tell you about when tools are shipping, and she's going to tell you about all of those things. Because when I talk about the details, I screw it up, and so I leave it to Karen. That's kind of our agreement. I tell you all the fun stuff about what I'm teaching, and then she tells you like facts about logistics and things, which are not my strong suit. All of that. Oh, 111. Okay, for tools. Thank you. For the Apothecary tools, and then I think it's 44 for the Sacred Circle tools, but you'll know that. We are taking notes for every class this year, so you will have notes. Everything's recorded, so if you can't be there live, you can watch it later. You have access to the recordings for the rest of your life. I have students still go back and watch 11 years ago, the original sabbatical. That's a true story. So they still have access to their classes. Tools are shipping after 12/31, but not long afterward. You will have them in time for the first class on January 8th. There is a 5th bonus class next Wednesday, which I would not miss. Don't miss that free class next Wednesday. It's the 11 best teachings of my 11 years of teaching, and it's a bonus free gift for anybody who joins either program, Sacred Circle or the whole thing, Apothecary. everybody gets the bonus class next Wednesday. So everybody's getting 2 free hours of teaching this month on top of the whole curriculum. But you need to register. So here's the thing. Go now, sagegoddess.com/apothecary, or if you're on Instagram, go to the link in your bio, click on, like I said, boop-a-doop and doop-a-doop, and then you're in the program, okay? It's worth it. The annual option can be put on Affirm or Afterpay, by the way, so you only pay $250 now for the annual, which is really cool. A lot of you are doing that. I don't blame you. I love Affirm and Afterpay too. You get to it spreads your payment out over 4 payments, so you only pay, it's $1,000 for the whole year. So you save 2 months, you get your free book of wisdom, and then you can just pay $250 now. It's like going to Vegas and hitting sevens. So that's the best way to do it. But after New Year's Eve, the annual option and the free book of wisdom goes away. And we'd love to have you. Do you have any questions for me? I think I did all the things I was supposed to do tonight that I wanted to do. Oh, I do want to remind you, on the event page, and Karen posted the picture earlier, so follow Karen's instructions. I think you have to say registered or register on the event page. We are giving away this entire basket of goodies, which includes your salt and your olive wood salt jar, amethyst, and beautiful set of quartz points for your gritting. There's a Hunabku herb grinder. There's a Palo Santo and incense burner. There's a gorgeous mosaic generator, pink opal sphere, candles. There's little packages of black salt, white sage with rose petals. There's a grid, and there's copal incense sticks in the box with the handles. And the box isn't that gorgeous? So you could decorate that and paint that, or you could leave it as it is. So the winner will be announced tomorrow. So yes, now is time for questions. Give it to me. I want to know all your questions. I just want to make sure I did everything on my end tonight. If I didn't, Team SG will let me know. But I hope you had fun tonight, and thank you for joining our programs. We're so excited to bring this beautiful program to you. I can't even begin to tell you. It's been so long in the works that it's like revealing a present. It's like unwrapping a gift. We're just so happy to have you. So yeah, Karen will guide you to the altar box giveaway, which is on the event page for tonight. I'm going to leave her to do that because if I put up a link, it's not going to be the right link. It's just how it goes. So, and then again, if you want to know how to register for tools or class, Karen is right there with you. She will put up the link for the tools, the link for the class. The classes and the tools are separate. Here's what I am going to tell you. If you have to choose between tools and education, and I'm saying this to you as a former professor, I have a PhD from the University of Southern California, as a lot of you know. I was a professor for 15 years before I started Sage Goddess. I was also a chief learning officer for in the private sector for several years before I started SG. Education to me, and I'm named after the goddess of wisdom, education for me is the most important thing there is. I love learning. I love teaching. Choose the class. You know what I mean? Take a class rather than buying stuff. I always tell people, give up Starbucks for a month, whatever, take a class. You're going to be better for it. It's better for your health anyway. Sign up for Sacred Circle and dip your toe in. And then some months you might go, oh, I want to upgrade to Apothecary for February or March. You can always upgrade, and then you can go back down. So in my programs, you can kind of tailor it to your needs. So let's say I don't know, somebody gives you a birthday gift and you're like, I want to upgrade to Apothecary for a month. You can do that. And then the next month you can do Sacred Circle. You have control on our website over all of your membership details. So you can toggle it the way you want to for the year. In order to get your certificates at the end of the year, you need to be in the program for the whole year. To be certified as an apothecary through Sage Goddess, you do have to do all 12 months. Is the class giveaway at the end? Yes, I'm doing it right at the end, Candace. So I am giving away 1 month membership right at the end as soon as I finish answering questions. That is the ultimate, I think, prize tonight. And if you're already registered, you're going to get a refund for your first month of membership. Isn't that exciting? So you do have to be on YouTube for that, or Facebook. So if you're on Instagram, come join us over on YouTube for a few minutes, because I'm going to give away 1 month of class, which is really exciting. Michelle said, I'm going to be working during the live bonus, but I don't want to miss it. I'm registered. Will I be able to see it later? Yes, it's going to be, all classes are recorded. So a lot of, interestingly enough, we have a global community at Sage Goddess. And some people in the time zones they're in are actually sleeping when I'm live. So they have to watch it later. So everything is recorded. It's always fun when you're there live. But everything will be recorded. So if you miss anything for any reason, you can always go back. Thank you, Lynn, so much. Thank you for being there. Melissa said, my husband let me sign up for the whole year for a combined Christmas and birthday gift. Isn't that amazing? It's very sweet. And CJ asked, what if you can't afford the tools? Can you still do the program? Yes. I would encourage it. Not everybody who does the class gets the tools. Use what you have. The tools, listen, the tools are there because some people want everything. Okay, some people are like, I just want to push boop, 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 and I want it all to come to my mailbox, and I just want to have the this for the this and the that for the that, and they want the whole thing. Okay, great. You know what I mean? So some people do that. A lot of people take the classes and they work with what they have. So if you want to know, well, why does she offer the tools? I offer the tools because some people are like, no, I don't have a journal. I don't have herbs. I don't have oils. I don't know where to get all these things. I don't know. I don't want to figure out what the alternatives are. I want the bottles and I want all of that. So we do that, right? But it's not a substitute for the learning. The learning is, the experience. I always will tell you, if you have to choose, get education. Tools are a party bonus. They're not the, tools are the buns. They're not the meat. It's not a great analogy. I love that. Fire Magic said, most classes I've done are via replay. I never feel like it was less for not being live. And thank you for that, by the way, because that really means a lot to me, too. Paulette said, still going. Aww. She's back. I'm so happy. And, Paulette, we love you so much. We're so glad you're coming and joining the crew this year. Tanya, who's an artist, said, I get creative with what I have. Great. Like I said, we do the tools. It's because there are quite a few people who are like, I just want plug and play. And that's fine. But that's not everybody. And you should never feel like, oh, I can't come or I can't join because I can't get the tools. I always, and you guys should attest to this so that they hear it from you. I always say, oh, if you don't have this, try this. What do we do with the Dorjies this year? Right? I taught you how to draw them, and then I actually drew them too on paper, and I showed you how to work with the drawings, right? Like I always give you an alternative, or will suggest, like, if you don't have this herb, you can try that. It's not a direct substitution, but you know what I mean? Like, again, if you're going to choose, always choose wisdom. And maybe that's my upbringing talking to you, but not everybody can do everything. So if you're going to choose one thing to do, I would say come join the ride. And then you'll be surprised at how creative you get. You will be surprised how much you actually have that you're not using. I know, and Michelle Brucker's back this year. I got your message. If you're feeling called and you can't do the tools in the class, sign up for the class. And if you can't do the whole year, sign up for a month and try it. And I just say that because I've been doing this a long time, and this year's program was inspired. Something's leading it. You're here for a reason, right? And we didn't raise prices this year. We will have to next year. I will tell you, this is the third year we've kept the prices exactly the same, and it works out to like $10 an hour for class by the time you add up everything you get. Like this year, this month in January, you're getting 10 hours of live teaching for $100. So it's $10 an hour. That doesn't include the Facebook group and the lives I'm going to do there and the other stuff that you're going to get. Doesn't include the worksheets and the notes and all that. So it's crazy what we're able to do. After this year, I won't be able to do it this way at this price. So this year didn't seem the right year to raise prices because it's tough right now. And for a lot of our community, we're just like, we just want people to be able to stay, and hang out and be part of the community. So, yeah, we have not raised prices since 2020. Is that right? 2021. And then we only raised it, I think, $10 or something like that. So some people sometimes say $10 an hour, is it a really good class? And I'm like, I think it is. I think it's good. But my least expensive teacher charges $150 an hour. So, sometimes people look at that and go, oh my God, like, am I still getting some really valuable education? But, it's hard to find good education with a good community at a good price. So we really try to give you a value, but also really good substance for your dollars too. But yeah. Sacred Circle does not get a Facebook group. That's the one sacrifice we had to make this year. In not raising prices, we could not create a separate Facebook group for Sacred Circle, unfortunately. Because each Facebook group takes a lot of hours of moderation, and because we didn't raise prices, we're stretched a little too thin. That is the one sacrifice we had to make this year. And I apologize for that, but I will tell you, you're still going to really enjoy that program. And then the Apothecary program does have a dedicated private Facebook group, which already exists. And I'm in it, and every time I open it, I'm like, oh, it's like a gift that hasn't been opened yet. It's like open. So yeah. If you get the monthly payment option instead of the annual, you will have the option to purchase the Book of Wisdom separately. It just is a gift to the folks who sign up for the annual. And we still have some. So if you sign up for the annual today, you will get the Book of Wisdom guaranteed. I'm just looking through to see if there's any other questions. Thank you for that. Kelly Matthews said, you will see the class when you need the info in the class if you miss the live or immediately after. And I'm going to tell you something, because I used to be a university professor, and I had to take attendance and give grades, and I hate all that stuff. Honestly, it sucks. I don't like to know when people are late. I don't want to hear excuses. Oh, my dog coughed and threw up on my paper, and that's why it's late. That drained my soul. Loved teaching. A lot of my university students are still my current students, so you guys know I loved teaching you, but I did not like tracking all the BS. I don't like all that stuff. So I didn't enjoy all of that. Do you know what my favorite part about our programs is? My favorite part about our programs is you can skip a whole month. And it might be because in January, you don't need anything I'm talking about. But in February, when you go back and watch it, it's like, now is when I need that. All that stuff you're talking about now was not relevant for me 30 days ago. Holy shit, it's exactly what I need right now. And that's what I love about the way I teach now, because people will say, oh my God, I missed a month, or I missed 2 weeks, or oh, am I okay? I'm so sorry I'm late. And I'll just be like, you're not late. You can't be late. You can't fall behind. You can't be late. You can't make a mistake. You're going to watch it when it's right for you. I don't have to give you a grade. Amen, right? Everybody gets an A. You get an A, and you get an A, and you get an A, right? And life happens. You're always on time. So you watch January and March. Some people will then watch March and June. And then in June, they'll go back and binge it. Kind of like Real Housewives. But better. Or for me with The Crown. I just binge watched The Crown. I'm really glad I waited, because I got to watch the whole thing over a couple of weekends rather than watching it bit by bit. It was way better that way. But you can watch live, and then that's fun. And then it's just like this, where you're asking questions, and I'm like, oh, Sage Grundy, how can we watch live? And you'll get the link, and it'll be in your classroom, and then you can watch it live. And it's, when it is. It's the first 3 classes are every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then Sundays, it's 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time on the 4th week. So you know exactly when it is, and then, but then there's a, you know what? You can't predict me. I'm gonna pop up in your Facebook group unannounced, doing weird stuff. Like, oh, I'm cooking dinner. You want to come cook dinner with me? Or, oh, I'm going to the botanical garden. Do you want to come walk around with me? Or, oh, I'm at the mall and I saw this weird thing. Do you want to see it? And it's weird for you too. Or, oh, Spirit's just guided me to read you this poem. Let's read together. And I'm going to reinstate reading this year. Do you remember that when we read the Metamorphoses together? A lot of you have asked for a reading list. We are pulling it together. And I think we're going to choose one book a quarter. And just when I feel like it, I'm going to read with you. So I'm going to say, if you want to do our reading thing, here's the book. You can go, not my books, other people's books. It'd be really weird to read my own books with you. Other people's books that I love. And there's quite a few that I'd like to read with you. And that way, if you're not a reader but you like to listen, so I'm going to give you the book title, you go get the book, and then in the Facebook group, sometimes we'll read together. And I'm not going to schedule that, and you can't predict it, so you just got to watch. All right, well, it's time. It's time to give away a month. And I'm going to give away a month to anyone. So you do not have to be registered to win a month of the program. So even if you're watching now and you're like, kind of interested, I don't know yet, you might win it. And if you're already registered and I choose you and you paid, remember, nobody pays till January 1. You know this, right? Like, today is what, December 28th? 9th? 8th. Nobody pays anything until January because my students are still finishing. They already paid for December. You don't pay anything till January 1. Whatever you register for tonight, you're going to pay Jan 1. Okay? Whether it's annual, monthly, Sacred Circle. So if you would like to win a month's membership, you have to be over on YouTube. So Instagram, you need to go over there. I'm going to choose from that fee because I'm only giving 1 month away. And then if you've already registered, I'm going to comp you. I'm going to give you January, which is really cool. And yay, and thank you for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I really enjoyed blending and teaching and talking and sharing and getting you excited. And again, if you're still on the fence about it, well, I give you a chance to say yes. Listen to the audio that I made that Karen posted. I would really encourage you, if you're like, I want to know more about this or kind of what her vision was. I've shared a lot about it tonight, but listen to the audio and see if it doesn't take you somewhere that in your soul goes, yeah, I want to go on that journey this year. Because even me, I mean, I'm the one teaching it and leading the planning of it. This is my baby, and I still don't fully know where we're going. I'm a little bit like Alice in Wonderland. Down the rabbit hole I go. But my life is better because of that. Otherwise, it's boring. If you know what every class is about and exactly what we're doing, it's fucking boring. Okay. I'm just gonna close my eyes and feel into where the mouse needs to stop. I'm really moving it. Candace Mills. And you know what's funny? It's the third time I've seen you in the feed tonight. I spent a lot of time looking at the camera. She said, this year has left me feeling so lost and disassociated. I see you. I would love to win to get the year started. It would mean more than words can express to come home to the hive. I'm so glad that you're going to be with us. And so welcome to January. I know I can feel Karen Brown already saying no. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give away 1 more month. Because Spirit was like, it's a yes and. It's really hard to work at Sage Goddess because you're working with Lilith. Eve would be like, there's my one prize, yay, and Lilith is like, let's do it again. It's like a damn circus, everybody. Welcome to the big top. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes again. Diana D'Agostino. Winning a month of classes would help me so much. I am on SSI for disability. Diana, I think you're the reason. Spirit's like, she ain't done yet. I'm a good listener when it comes to spirit, not so much to people's. But I'm a good listener when it comes to spirit. So Diana, darling, welcome to January. So we had 2 winners tonight instead of 1, and whatever, I'm not sorry about it. The good news is I can't really get in that much trouble. And this is what you can expect when you join Apothecary. And my team goes like this. So Diana and Candace and Diana and Candace and Diana and Candace are gonna be in the whole month long. And I'm ready to get started. I wish it was tonight. My songs aren't good. Nobody should hire me to do songwriting or singing or balancing your checkbooks or keeping your schedule. No one should hire me for those 3 things. I will fail and you'll fire me. I'm not good at time. I'm not good at bucks, and I'm just not good at anything kind of technical, and I'm not a good singer, but I have other gifts. So I follow my path in other ways. All right. So anyway, I know, I love it. Courtney's like, I love that emoji that's like that emoji where it's like the one eye. It's like, I can't look. It's so hard to look. Anyway, I love you guys. Holy shit, we've been doing this a long time. We have. You can go on YouTube. You can go back and watch 12 years ago, little me sitting in my kitchen talking to you about abundance, or like, and honestly, like, it's funny because I look back at those videos and I feel like I was older then. I don't know that I look younger now. I'm not saying that. I definitely have more gray, but I feel a little more like alive and on purpose now. And I think it's cool that you guys have kind of been along for the ride because you've seen this evolution. It's very few people do the same thing for 12 years, especially now. Like, people just move on, they change what they're doing, and they change their goals, and they change their vision. My vision hasn't really changed. In terms of what I think is important in the world, which is wisdom and magic and fun, but also a real depth, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to go deep this year. I'm not messing around. And my intention is to create a healing portal for you on the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual realms that's unparalleled. I set lofty goals. So if you've been looking for a sign, I think this is it. sagegoddess.com/apothecary. That seemed like a really fast 2 hours to me. I hope it didn't feel like a day and a half long to you. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. So thank you to everyone behind the scenes. Sorry, not sorry, Team SG. It was like, hey, let's give away 10 perfumes and a box, and let's also give away, like, not 1 but 2 months and everything. Like, they're probably scrambling around trying to catch up. Happy New Year. We start next week. Register now. don't not do it. I mean, if you trust me at all, sign up for the month and see how it goes, see how you like it. And then you can decide, do I want to keep going or not? And if you decide it's not for you, it's not for you. But I just have a feeling. If you're here tonight, there's probably a reason. If you're watching the replay, there's probably a reason. So sagegoddess.com/what-apothecary, or go to Instagram, go to the link in our bio. There's space for you still. We'd love to have you there. And Happy New Year. May 2024 be the year that all of us heal from the inside out and from the top down, and release everything that isn't serving us so we can let the shit go and move forward. 2023, as I've said, can suck itself. It has not been my favorite year. But better things are ahead. I believe that with all my heart. All right, love you guys. Happy New Year. Good night to Instagram. Good night to all of you on Facebook and YouTube. See you soon. Go register for class. Remember, always choose education over things. I may not be able to sign you off, actually. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to say goodnight to Instagram. Jasmine, my mic isn't, or my mouse isn't working. It worked for the giveaways, which is really good, but now it's not working to end the stream, so. What else do you want to talk about? You can say goodnight. I'm just going to keep talking because I can't shut you off. Wasn't it fun tonight? Good night, you guys. Good night, Wes. Happy New Year, everybody. Good night, Lana. Good night. I'm glad you were here. Honestly, you know, it's funny sometimes when like the tech doesn't work. Maybe I'm not supposed to say goodnight to you. Better things are ahead. This year's been weird. No, you're stuck with me. I could go around and like click it on some other side of it, but it's like, why do that? I'm just gonna wait. I love it. Shavaya says 58 years young and still learning. 58's young, isn't it? I don't know. I think of that as being very young. I mean, the thing at 58 is you're old enough to know better, so when you do dumb shit, people can be like, oh, you're 58. You know what I mean? But you're still like young enough to... This Mercury retrograde in Capricorn has just been a real asshole. I know, like my mouse goes, yes, I'm working. No, I'm not. Yes, I'm working. No, I'm not. Jasmine's here, so I think this is officially a good night. But yeah, let's say good night to Mercury retrograde too. Bye. You're all done on January 2nd, Mercury.